Hello, and welcome to another episode of the FESPA podcast, Up Close and Personal, with me, your host, Richard Askam, and my guests today, all the way from cold Canada today, I think, Marie-Eve and Marion. Good afternoon, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Yes.
How are you both?
Great,
Good.
great.
Even though it's a bit snowy, but yeah, we handling it.
As I'm sure you know, the British can always get through anything, so I'm sure the Canadians can as well. So that's fine. But it's really great to have you on today and to hear all about MediaClip, and really more importantly, the wider subject of personalisation. Obviously, we're here to talk about the personalisation experience, which is this new FESPA event that's happening this May in Munich. 360-degree view of the world of personalisation and what that means. But really what I'm interested to hear, and our listeners are interested to hear today, is what does personalisation mean to you? Marion, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Personalization. I see product personalization as as being part of the love business. I always define MediaClip to be in the software business, but over time I've realized that I define ourselves more in the love business because personalization is kind of a personal connection with a product. So either you make yourself a product with your own preferences, or you create a unique and personalized gift for someone you love.
Yeah.
So personalization is a mean, I think, to state what we love from us when we create a product for ourselves. As for a gift, I think there's nothing more personal than a gift that has been created with you in mind. Essentially, I think this is the meaning of a gift. So,
Yeah.
so to please, to show our love, to make the personal feel unique. I think that product personalization is a real love affair.
And I guess one of the old sayings as well, I'm sure you have this in Canada, is it's the thought that counts. And with personalization, you're showing that you've given it some thought.
Exactly. Yeah, and at some point, by offering product personalization on their website, I think retailers makes their mark in this love story. So I think there's the deepest relationship you can have with the brand.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Marie-Eve, what about you? What does personalization mean to you?
Well, that's the funny word because I'm from marketing. So personalization can mean a lot of things from adding your name on an email, but more to the point of what we do at MediaClip is really being able to connect people with content, either personalized content as personalized as image like photo, but it could also be content that they see in a pleasing manner. So for me, personalization is allowing someone to have a specific relation with a product or a project. So it's kind of a co-creation between the supplier and the user, which is, like Marion said, like creating a deeper relationship that usually transcend into repeat customization. So usually when you do the first photo book, and then after that you don't even understand why you used to print pictures because the experience was so much greater doing a photo book. So this is the kind of feeling that we are looking for, the creative output for people to express themselves and to show their loved one, what they mean or how important they are. So
Yeah, no, agreed. And I'm from a marketing world myself, and I understand the value really of that first impression, if you like, that first connection. Is really to say hello, is to start a conversation, and what better
Yeah,
way to do that than to start with somebody's name? I mean, it's in a way, it's strangely
exactly.
the least personal bit about you is your name. It's the thing that everybody knows. But when you're wanting to create that connection, it's a good place to start. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've always joked, Marianne, about airlines, and I've done a lot of traveling, as I'm sure you have, and airlines will always lose your luggage at some point, and then they'll send you a letter, and it will say, "Dear sir or madam, we're really sorry that we've lost your luggage," and then you immediately go, "You don't even know who I am,"
No,
Yeah. So anytime that you can deploy that, you say an email, Marie-Eve, but I think any sort of communication is the starting point of that personalized journey that you can then evolve from. What would you say from a MediaClip perspective? What are the things that you've seen work really well with personalization? Who's got the most from it?
I would say that it depends. We have like different kinds of consumers. So there's a lot of people who wants to do, be able to offer personalized item, but what we see growing at this point is also offering product that may be customized with other things than simply photos. So it could be patterns, it could be design, and we see that largely in the home decor segment, where there's a growth that kind of show what could be done. We also see it with engraving and embossing, which sometimes lead to designs that are made out of the names or a specific quote or things like that. But a lot of the core market still is I would say the gifting market, or the way people use personalization as a way to offer or show that they're thinking about somebody, like you mentioned earlier.
But do you, Marion? I'm interested to hear whether you think that gift market sort of channel, if you like, has personalization got stuck there? Do you think? Do you think that's what people see it for, just for gifting?
No, I think, like Marie-Evie mentioned, home decor is a huge segment. So people are customizing, canvas, cushions, things that go with their decor. So they want to reflect their personality. And usually, it's fine to find, those items exactly like you want in stores. So they use the personalization to make, those products to fit with what they're looking for.
And we are two very aggressive power user of of that concept.
And you mentioned engraving and embossing there a moment ago, and of course that's been around for centuries, really, in terms of how people have used that. What's bringing that back into fashion now? What are you hearing from customers that they want to see that more?
I think people want to reveal their personality at some point. Culture, and I think it's pretty much worldwide. People want to differentiate themselves from the mass, and I think the me thing is getting more and more important than it used to be. So I think personalization is a mean for that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's a noisy world, isn't it, Marie? You've got to be able to cut through that noise and be seen, be recognized, be heard. I get the sense now with brands, especially, and it'd be interesting to hear this from a Canadian perspective, but a North American perspective particularly. What they see as the opportunity to engage directly now with consumers. COVID has changed an awful lot in our world, but one of the main things it's changed is brands need to get to the consumer directly. Is this helping them do that?
I would say yes, because it's kind of creating a relationship with the user. I mean, if they go on your website and they start creating their own art or their own content, at one point, because they're so invested in the process, they're linking to your brand. And this is why you can create a longer loyalty kind of program, or attach the brand to an emotion that was great when you were creating the product.
Absolutely.
And I think there's nothing more powerful than having a photo book of your trip or a souvenir, and on the back you get the logo of the retail store where you bought it. So there's a lot of things that can be done on the marketing side to engage with the customer.
And this is why I said that your name actually, strangely, is the least personal bit about you. It tends to be the memories that you have, the shared memories that you have, that sort of evoke so much more emotion, so much more connection. And that's really at the heart of what personalization is for. Yeah, no, that's interesting. You're listening to the Up Close and Personal podcast with me, Richard Askam, and my guests today from MediaClip, Marie-Evie and Marion. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me again. Marion, tell me a little bit about the history of MediaClip. Where did it come from? But more importantly for you, where is it going?
Oh my God. Yeah, almost 20 years ago. Yeah, I was in maternity leave and I was looking to put the pictures of my babies on stuff to give to, my kids' grandparents. And I realized that the software offer was not really good. The software were too complicated, or they didn't have enough functionalities so I can make it my own. So I've decided to start a business. I used to be in the telco space, so in strategic planning. So I didn't know I had some entrepreneurial blood, but I did. I started my company at that time, and we were offering a DVD service. So we were burning DVD with the storytelling, with the music, and so on. And then there was, that was the time when, photo books and retailers were looking for new products. So I've been approached to see if I knew a company that could develop a photo book software. And the DVD business was not really good. So I had two choices: go back to my job or try with a photo book software company, and which what I did. So we've started developing a photo book solution in 2007, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it just keep growing, and we've developed, the front end to enable any type of personalized product. So
That's really
yeah.
interesting. It's a very similar story to myself in a way, because I'm from the wine business
Oh.
in my background, and we developed personalized labels for wine in around about 2007, 2008, and I couldn't find anybody that would produce them for me, so I had to set up a company to produce them myself. So I share your pain on that, and you learn all these things the hard way, of course. And Marie-Eve, when did you join up with Marion? When did you get involved?
Oh, well, we've been friends forever, and I joined MediaClip 12 years ago. So it was very an opportunity for me to work with her because we known each other from our master's class, master's business masters. So and at the beginning, I didn't know anything about technology. I was coming from another field completely, but it was love at first sight. I mean, the fact that you could create, and even now my kids are doing personalized product. And it's funny because I'm always surprised that they're using our software and they comment on it and they go and, oh yeah, I did that for my brother. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. You're even one of my customers, so I can relate to you as well. So this is why I kind of love the fact that it's an industry that is always evolving as well. So it's exciting.
This is the interesting thing, isn't it? And you mentioned your kids there as customers. Of course, all of our children are our next lot of customers. So in terms of the future, and personalization at the heart of it, because they've grown up with it as standard. It was a little bit of a luxury, I guess, to us 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Now it's standard in that the customer expects the ability to be able to personalize. So what do you both see as the coming trends? What can you you can guess, by the way, nobody will hold you to it, but what do you think that your children are going to look forward to from personalization?
I think personalization is part of their life. When you look at all the marketing that has been done, social networks and so on. So I think they will be more power user. They will get in more, you know, I think they will look for uh, a shopping experience that is based on customization and personalization. And I think that the products will just get, wider and wider, which I find it really cool because I would love to see everything personalized. But but I think they'll get it for sure because they are looking to, like I was mentioning before, they want to differentiate themselves
Yeah.
a lot more than we need to. My generation, which is an older one, but yeah, and we will see more products, I think, on the market that can be personalized. That's going to be part of their life for
It's
sure.
going to be part of their daily kind of routine to have their styling to any, lifestyle product. And they are creating so much content. As we know, they all have their Facebook, they're doing creative designs with AI now. But the thing is, when they have something that is significant for them, then they go the step further to have it print and have it turned into an object that is physical and that is, that they can relate to. So they're kind of having more memory, but they have to curate these memory. And this is where having a range of product that can satisfy them is really important. So I think that it's more mainly the type of product that are customizable that will change rather than the process itself.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point because one of the big changes, of course, in everybody's world and especially mine, because I'm pre-internet, is everybody now has the ability to broadcast. Everybody has the ability to create their own content. So the need to be seen and the need to be or the desire to be an individual has never been stronger than right now. And I guess
self-branding is something huge
absolutely
with this generation. So
these are not only content creators but customized content creators and actually personalized content creators. So I wonder whether, and this is my question to you both, that whether we're actually using the right word to describe the opportunity, because personalized in and of itself, so many people think, oh, that's putting your name on a bar of candy, right? And you go, well, no, it's so much more than that. Should the word be, if we could start again, should the word be individualized?
I like it. I like it. That's funny because in marketing, since the inception of the company, we keep asking ourselves, is the right, is this word is the right one?
So yeah, and I love individualization because we especially that, as you can probably see, we are French speaking. So for us, there's also the translation issue of customizing versus personalization. So, and it doesn't mean the same thing in both languages. So I love the fact that you kind of have a new word for it.
Sorry, I just in my conversations with guests on the podcast, what's quite interesting is everybody has a slightly different view of what personalized means, but they all come to the same point, which is it's for the individual. So and that's really why I thought, okay, mate, if we could, we can't now, it's too late, the genie's out the bottle, the personalized bottle, of course, but if we could start again, logically you would say we are creating individual products.
Yeah, totally. I like it. You're good.
I'll have a word with FESPA and change this to the individual. Get a new background. But listen, we're coming to the end of the episode now, and thank you once again for joining me. I just want one final thought from you both, if I may. Really, you can choose who does good cop and bad cop, but my question is, what's the best bit of personalization you've seen, and what's the worst bit of personalization you've seen? You choose which one you're going to take.
Oh God.
I can do the bad one because I've seen a lot of it, and I think that the worst possible personalization when it comes to marketing or perception is to send someone a personalized email or a personalized item with the wrong spelling, or when they switch like name and surname and things like that. So for me, this is like counterintuitive. Like it's instead of tying you to the brand, it's obviously they don't know you. So this is worse than not personalizing at all. But this is the
I went through a phase in my life where if they couldn't spell my name right, I didn't go to their event. So yeah.
So now you've got the best one, Marion.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, love is everywhere with personalization. So there's so many examples, but I think that's, this is as we go along and, manufacturing companies improve their capabilities, I think the world will be just better.
Yeah.
And for that, I don't know what day or week or month you're watching this, but today it's Friday afternoon, and if you can't do Friday afternoon with love, then what's the point? So Thank you. That's the perfect way to end this episode. Marion, Marie, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for battling through the bad weather to join me today. I appreciate it. You've been listening to the Up Close and Personal podcast with me, Richard Askam. Thank you very much.